Looks like it's gonna be Miko first up over for the team 2 versus the team of Melee. We got ourselves Risco. We'll call it Risco. It's Tag Risco. Risky. Miko, did you just end up going for... Did you just spell steal the dots off of him? Do you exhale? Are you gonna exhale them? Is that a playstyle? Hold on. Risco is just taking damage from all those dots. He can't really do much about it. He's just behind the pillar. Even Miko's eyeball that spawns in the fell eyeball, it just keeps blasting from distance. Wait, are you just gonna die? Okay. Apparently, casters are the dominant species in this season. Gonna be Krager charging in versus Miko. Immediately got himself a defensive. Gonna be a board as it's gonna be lead by the Furious Warrior. Got him to reflect, but that curse of exhaustion is gonna be slowing down quite a bit as Miko trying to see if he can cut him out. Got full dots, no more reflect available. Mordecai and Krager running in the opposite direction. Got a bit of a drain together with his soul drain as well. Miko trying to see if he can get juked out. It's gonna go for a bit of damage. Ultra Krager, full dots and power, potentially big damage. Ultra Krager is gonna be a wall for Miko as he's trying to see if he can drain Krager down. Does go for the Enrage Regeneration. Reflect out for Krager, reducing the magic damage he's taken by quite a bit too. Board for Miko, trying to see if he can just keep away from Krager. Krager still has a pretty big defensive on him. Defensive stance to follow. He's trying to see if he can dampen some of the damage he's taken, but he just gotta suffer the afflictions, the agonies, the corruption that has taken over his soul. Miko getting hit with a stormbolt for a second. Dark Path to follow. Krager finally getting a couple of those executes here and there. Is gonna go for a proper interrupt for Miko, trying to see if he can get a juke. Is able to deny the juke from Miko. Reflect to follow as a Mortal Coil comes out. What is that? Reflect Mortal Coil combo. I felt like he should have been able to get a proper reflect. Miko is actually dropping pretty low on the execute range. Krager trying to see if he can maybe take him out. Does he get to? Potentially maybe the Warrior could overpower him. Final last stand for the Warrior, trying to get himself a little bit more health to work with drain life. For Miko trying to see if he can use some survivability here. Full drain, soul life. That's going to be Krager potentially going down. Stun onto Miko, trying to go for the execute drain. Oh my god. Miko does end up taking down the Warrior. That was so clutch. Oh my goodness, trying to see if he can send some dots on the Shadow. So the next competitor has an easier time catching up to the Rogue. Immediate Garrod out of Shadow as he does end up getting out of combat for just the last second. Into Kinder shot, full dots there. Kazaris does go for the big bleeds. I think he's playing like a very heavy bleed play style. I think he got the shift bleed combo because Kazaris is actually melting quite profusely. He's actually melting. Look at this. The Shadow Priest is not doing all that good right now. He's actually taking substantial damage. And Shadow, all he's been able to do is really just auto-attack through a wall and just put his full set of bleeds on the guy. I think he's going to try to go for yet another Garrod. Make sure he can just like bleed out Kazaris. If he can go for a Shadow Step and maybe Kidney Shot or interrupt him on Shadow probably, that would be pretty good too. Got himself full Kidney Shot, full Disperse available for Kazaris. Unless he's got to find a way to like heal himself, he may be in a bit of trouble. Trying to go for Wood Eruption with Shadow, who got himself a Smoke Bomb. Trying to create some line of sight. Well, line of sight is nowhere near. Just trying to use that in order to give himself a bit of escape. Yet another Garrod to Kazaris. Does go for the stun. Reflect, trick it out of that one. Is to try to go for a bit of a mind games. Still full down some burning on the Shadow Priest, but looks like he's been able to survive the worst of the rogue, the roles of the rogue can offer, which is a full death mark. And looks like Shadow trying to see if he can just kind of hang back behind the boxes until maybe he can get himself some cooldowns available. Maybe catch himself a proper reset. Kazaris is going to retreat back behind the pillar completely, or back before, onto the platform. Garrod by the opener, by the Rogue is the opener. Kid is shot to follow. Maybe reflect. Oh, I keep saying reflect. I keep saying reflect, even though I know the Rogues don't have reflect. I don't know why I keep doing it. Kazaris may be in a lot of trouble. Got him some shields. I don't really know what he can do in this situation. Yeah, the Rogue just kind of letting the dots course through the man's veins. The poison and the bleeds mixed together. I mean, there's only so much you can really do, and the Rogue was able to whittle him down little by little. Is it going to be Demon Hunter? No, it looks like he's looking potentially at Facile or Huge. And Facile, or Huge is looking at Facile. So it looks like maybe they're waiting on him. Garrod by the Rogue onto Huge. That's Huge. Trying to see if he can go for a big old Primordial. Doesn't have himself the Lava Burst he needs though in order to maximize the damage here. Does he get himself maybe a proc potentially? Looks like the Rogue does end up getting himself a bit of a reset. Potentially, yeah, I think it was a Shadow Meld, wasn't it? Root around the corner. As long as he doesn't get a Garrod, he might be okay. Trick it out of the Rogue right now though, as Huge trying to go for a bit of a wall. Does get a trap there on fire, but he has himself the lava, the lightning bolts at the ready. He is full dots on the Rogue as he's trying to see if he can back out of there. with a quick vanish. Huge button leaping over, got himself lightning in his hands, wants to make a big play. Garrode by the rogue, he does get to escape into a restart for just a second. Gonna be a full stun onto Huge with a death mark. As long as Huge, if he doesn't have a heal right now, he may be in a bit of trouble. He is trying to go for a bit of a burrow, but he's still taking down to the dots. Not in a great spot, trying to see if he can maximize some damage maybe, but Shadow with a death mark in the bleeds was able to take him down fairly quickly. Vassal is going to be up next versus Shadow. Try to see if he can get himself a better angle. Now the portal opened up pretty early on as a Felguard is way back there. As long as Vassal can get himself a couple pet summons, he may be okay. And whatever random summons you can get, that also help out. Access around the corner. That's going to be a full Tyrant. Shadow with a Mortal Call. Maybe he can take the Tyrant onto whoever's next. Is it going to be Mirak? Potentially. It looks like it is going to be Mirak. As long as you can get the pets over there, does get the Pit Lord there pretty quickly. That Pit Lord already trying to see if he can make a big play with the Tyrant, able to get himself at least one cast onto Mirak, but it's been able to miraculously avoid that entire army of demons fairly easily. Blaze-Stone Vor, Mirak trying to see if he can catch up to Vassal, does end up charging over to him with the Reflective Fall. Vassal better be very, very careful with when he uses Mortal Call. Gonna be Axe Toss, and Mirak does end up going for a trick out of this one. Vassal with a wall, trying to see if he can maybe survive this. Does not really have a lot of casting opportunity. Mirak, as long as he gets himself a proper interrupt, he'll be in a good spot. Does himself full dive by the sword. Let's try to tank up versus the Warlock. Core gonna be up next, getting hit with a Stormbolt, immediately trinkets out of it. Trying to see if he can not lose sight of Mirak. I think it's also trying to see if he can deny him any second win opportunity. Big IBM taking him out with a blade as a follow. Mirak doesn't catch it himself. This last bit of healing is able to break out of that imprisoned with a Xerxes Rage. But the man does not have a lot of defenses to really work with here. Maybe he can wait for Stormbolt that's coming up in a couple of seconds. Maybe he can go for another impending victory. Potentially. It's going to be a Metamorphosis for Core. Trying to see if he can avoid him. It's going to be an interrupt. Oh, it does end up taking him out fairly quickly. As Riff is going to be last one left as a Fire Mage over for the team 1. Volcanic Surge and Dueling Talent, is that what you're trying to play with? I think Volcanic Surge can have a play subdued, but yeah, I think having instant cast value is just way too good. I think the idea of Volcanic can work out, but you really got to get the jukes, and it's got to be against the right class. I guess a Rogue who's got himself resets in the road. Yeah, not ideal whatsoever. Rift trying to see if he can get himself maybe a better angle versus Core. Got himself a quick interrupt. That's going to be a soul break for his second Ass's break. That's going to be pretty bad for Rift. And the Demon Hunter can maybe re-engage and get a couple more can strikes. He might be able to get some value out of it. Rift able to knock him back for just a second. Got himself all time. Can maybe Core take it out? It's going to be going for a big hunt. Ice block to follow. Mage just needs a couple more Fire Blasts. He could take Core out. Trying to see if he can go for that Sigil. Darkness down with this stuff to follow. Doesn't he have any more healing? Doesn't have the Demon last second. Oh, but it didn't matter. Rift did get himself a full-up Pyro Blast with combustion at the ready anyway. My goodness, that was a lot of damage all in the last few seconds. But there it is, man. Let's get us another one going, yeah?